Welcome to Gold Can't Stay, a podcast about two long-distance sisters.
About long distance... What? I don't even know what we say. It's episode 14 and I don't know it yet. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Kasey Golden.
Well, I'm Allyson Golden. We're going to talk about two long-distance stories. Oh, shit. We're sisters. Damn. Well...
What?
Welcome to the podcast.
What just happened? Oh, boy. Well, before we get into the podcast, usually we give like a little goof, something that we messed up in the week, but instead we're going to address the state of things right now. Allyson can take it away because I'm not very good at words, and yeah, so I'm not gonna make the statement because I'm a dum-dum. But Allyson can go ahead and speak for the both of us.
So, the Black Lives Matter movement and all of these protests that are going on around the United States right now in regards to Black lives being taken by police at a way higher number than Americans or white Americans, and then the general state of racism in America. It has been weighing heavy on, I'm sure, not just me, but everyone else in the country. And I feel like it is part of like our responsibility to use this platform that we have, even though it might not be very big, to kind of like open up a dialogue. So most people identify as not a racist, but the concept of being anti-racist is new to a lot of us. And this is a journey that we're all kind of going through together, and we're making mistakes, and we want to do what's best and like support, like I said, our Black brothers and sisters in the country. So I just kind of want to like let y'all know that we're all on this journey together. And if y'all want to talk about anything, we can ask each other questions, talk about this stuff. It's our responsibility as white and non-Black Americans to kind of educate ourselves about the situation and how we can do better. And yes, it's messy and uncomfortable and we're going to make mistakes. But I think what's most important is that we are trying and we have the best interest of everyone in our minds and hearts as we go on this journey. So I just wanted to share a couple of resources that I myself am using and things that I'm doing to kind of like be better. And then maybe we can all do this together and like talk about it and, you know, be better. So a couple of things that are good to do are to sign petitions. So you'll see a lot of petitions that are going around to defund police in maybe your city or other cities, to change laws surrounding the way police operate, and things of that nature. Those are really important to sign. If you are 18 or older in the United States, please, please, please register to vote. Voting is an incredible tool to use in this country, and I think it's really important that we exercise that tool and that right in this country. You can donate to some causes that help support activism and what's going on. Black Lives Matter is a great place to donate. The NAACP is a good place to go. The ACLU, these are all great places to donate your money if you're able. And there's also, of course, literature you can do for literature that you can read to educate yourself about how to do better, maybe make yourself more aware of habits that aren't the best and things of that nature. A couple of books that are going around that seem to be great resources that I have in my Amazon cart right now are White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo, and Me and White Supremacy by Layla Saad. So those are a few things that we can all do to be better Americans and like help support our Black brothers and sisters. So yeah, so no goofs today, just kind of like, you know, we're all in this together. We might not be in the same boat, but we're in the same storm. So it's important to, I think, utilize whatever tools we have to help each other out. Just, you know, it's just a good thing to do. Yeah.
Well said, Allyson. I literally could not have said it better because I suck. And hey, if you want to take it...
You're doing the best you can. We're all doing the best we can.
Yeah. So today, we're going to talk about our long distance relationship experiences. Both of us have been in long distance relationships, and as the internet continues to be a huge source of socializing, Lots of people, I'm sure, share the same experience of long distance relationships. See it all the time.
And maybe even especially now with COVID-19 happening, some people are in long distance relationships when they're living in the same city because maybe you're quarantined and you can't see each other.
True. And yeah, I don't know. Stuff like that to me, because, and I'll get into it later, I'm so used to long distance relationships. I think like, oh no, you can't see your boyfriend or whatever for a few months. Wah. Like, to me, it's like no big deal. So it is kind of funny to, I don't know, compare our experiences with that, because you've been in far more non-long distance relationships than you have long distance relationships in comparison to me.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see our different views on that.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we begin?
Well, if
are
we're
we
going
ready
to start
to jump into the long bun of this distanced sandwich?
The hot dog bun before we get into the hot dog of this.
The Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
The sub. We just gonna jump in? We doing it?
I mean, yeah, let's just jump in. I feel like we should start with you though, since
oh gosh,
your long distance relationship started first.
Wow, where to begin? It all started in middle school when I lost all my friends.
Oh no.
I mean, it's not wrong. So what is it? When I was 13 or so, I started using the internet more and more because, I went into middle school and all of my girlfriends moved on to like girly makeup and other things. And I was like, but what about video games still? Like, I still like those. So I kind of lost all of my female friends, and then like the male friends, they're kind of like getting not fun to hang out with because they're like wieners or something. I don't know. Like, it's hard. middle school's a hard time, I think, to make friends with the opposite sex. And then like, if you don't get along, I guess, with your typical same-sex friends, it's like, what do? You go to the internet and you spend time playing video games and talking to people online. And so that's what I did. A lot of my middle school and high school life was playing video games and talking to my online friends. Very sad. But that's how it is. So I made some friends that I'm still friends with today, that I met online when I was 13, and I think it was 7th grade. And I married one of them. Oh, there's the twist.
Where did you meet them?
I don't know if I want to say, because I don't want people to like look up stuff.
Okay, that's fair.
To be
that's
honest.
Totally fair.
I'm pretty sure I said it before.
You can say vague.
It was a Nintendo forum. It was a forum.
There you go.
And it's not that like I had anything to hide. I just like, I don't know. I just don't feel like, I don't know.
You don't need all that personal stuff out there.
Yeah, I like some privacy. So I spent a lot of time chatting on forums with people, and we move. If you were like friends with some of them, you would move to AOL Instant Messenger. There's a throwback. Or non-Americans would use MSN, which I never really got into because I didn't want to use more than one messenger. That's annoying, and most people used AIM. So
also our dad wouldn't download MSN onto our computer.
Oh, well, there you go.
I wrote about that in my journal.
Oh,
being pissed that dad
you want to tell us
MSN.
about that one?
What?
I said, do you want to tell us about that one?
Maybe that's another episode.
So I spent like all my time, and I remember, the early days, this is like off topic, I guess, but just like having to fight over who uses the family computer. Like, because nowadays everyone has a phone. Like, anyone can download a messenger app and, that's it. But back in the day, you had one family computer and only one person could use it at a time, obviously. So if I wanted to chat with my friends, I was having to fight between you and like sometimes dad or mom if they had stuff to do. And it was just like,
yeah.
It was sad because that was my social life. I literally had no friends. But that's fine. So I spent time talking to a number of people, and one of them, which was Dave at the time, told me that he was like 20 something and was like engaged and he was getting married soon.
Wow.
I think he had like a little brother or something that would often get on AIM and like say mean things, or like, what is it, like warn you? Is that what you did on AIM? Like you would like warn the person? There was like a button.
Oh yeah.
I forget. But that was actually, turns out, his older sister doing that. Dave lied to me for 5 years. He told me he was like 20, because his parents told him to lie on the internet about who he was, or people would find him and eat him for dinner. I don't know. So he lied about his entire identity from our age of 13 until 18. But the later years, he like stopped using the internet to chat as much, because when you get older, you know, you start doing other stuff. I mean, you can't be on the internet all the time. When you get older, you get a job and you do stuff. So, not much to say, honestly, between 13 and 18. I just thought he was just this like old person that I talked to, which, by the way, when I was 14, I very specifically remember at one point, Dad came up behind me and was like, "Who are you talking to?" And I was like, "This guy named whatever." I don't even know what his fake name was, but Dad was like, "How old is he?" And I was like, 20 something. And Dad was like, "Okay." And I'm like 14. And Dad was okay with me talking to like a 20-something-year-old. So there you go.
God.
Like,
it's amazing you made it out alive.
I know, like I've actually never had any bad experiences like that online, like older people trying to pick me up, surprisingly. But the fact that I told Dad that I was talking to a 20-something-year-old and he was like, "Cool, have fun." It's like, looking back, I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess the situation was in control. He wasn't actually 20-something, but that's pretty funny. So one day I was on the computer. I think I was either, I think I was a senior in high school, and Dave was in his first year of college, I think. I was just online, and Dave was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm actually not engaged. I'm not going to get married, and I'm also not 20-something. I'm actually 18, and I'm in college." And I was like, all the 5 years, I thought you were some dude with like his life together. And I was just like, wow.
And
so
you found out
we
he's just a
started talking,
And you found out he was just a twerp. Just some twerpy
like
18-year-old.
dork. I think the first picture Dave ever showed me was him dressed up for Halloween as like a nerd. And this photo is the most ridiculous thing ever. I wonder if Dave's listening right now. Like, we're talking like big rimmed glasses, a pocket protector, bow tie, plaid shirt, suspenders maybe. So we started talking more at the end of my high school career, and one thing led to another. We started to like each other. Oh no, that's the worst, because he was in British Columbia, Canada, and I was in Tennessee, America. So it's like, I didn't go online to develop crushes for people, and I certainly wouldn't recommend it, because it sucks. Because if you aren't rich and you're in school, you don't have money to just fly around all the time, and you're stuck in school, so you want to graduate. So definitely wouldn't recommend falling in love with someone online, but you know, sometimes those things happen. Actually, Dave is the reason why I bought an Xbox 360, because was it 360? Yes, it was. Because I wanted to do more things with him. So I bought an Xbox 360 and we were playing like Halo, I guess. But also because of him, I was able to buy the orange box. So that was pretty dope. Half-Life.
Yeah, that's
and
a good
Portal.
one.
Team Fortress, not so much. But that was pretty cool. We spent a lot of time playing Halo and other games. Later, Left 4 Dead. Heck yeah. Some good times. If you're in a long distance relationship, I would definitely recommend games. That's gonna save your marriage. Or another activity. I guess I'll move on to activities. We would like sync movies. So we would have a movie and we would both press play at the same time, and then we would like chat or voice chat or whatever while we watched it and like make comments on it. So stuff like that. Definitely recommend things you can do. Lots of mailing packages for birthdays and Valentine's Days. Stuff like that.
That's so sweet.
So when we were 13, we started talking. When we were 18-ish, we started to develop feelings. And then it wasn't until we were 19, I guess like a year later, after really talking, we wanted to meet up because I don't like online dating. I think you really need to meet the person in real life to actually like really get to know the person. I mean, obviously you can get to know someone on text, clearly, but I wanted to meet him before our relationship was official. But at this point, okay. So I very specifically remember I was playing, I think, Halo with Dave, and we had been talking about meeting for a while, and I was living with our mom at the time, going to college. So I obviously had to ask her for permission to allow this stranger into our home to live. I think it was for 1 week he visited the first time. So I got her to talk to him on like the Xbox Live headset. And I just remember like her standing like right in my room, like, "Hi, Dave." And like they were just like talking, and it was just like one of the most awkward things I feel like ever. Like having your mom meet your potential online boyfriend and like talk on Xbox Live.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Can you imagine? So I don't really remember how the conversation went, but I'm sure I was just like, "Hey Mom, I have something to ask you. Can this guy come like stay in our house for a week that I met online? I've been talking to him for like 8 years." Like I like want to kill myself thinking about having that conversation now. Like no thank you. So he came to visit, and I remember being so nervous that I was just going to go drive and pick him up, but I was like, "Oh my God, I can't." So I got Mom to drive me. And so then I went into the airport, and when I saw him, I was like, "Oh my God, it's Dave." And I was like, "Oh my God." So
did y'all hug or anything?
Yeah. I don't know if I like ran over to him, but I remember like when I saw him, I was like, "Oh my God." Oh my God. So yeah, we hugged, super sweaty, nervous, as I do. And so yeah, we spent a week together doing things, hanging out in real life, getting those doki dokis. And oh my God, okay. So this is when we get into the whole like, I did not tell anybody in my family that we were dating for several years, like 2 years. It was, I think it was 2 years, because it was right before I went to Japan that I admitted it. Because I've never really been in like relationships before. Dave, I didn't say, was my first and only boyfriend. I've never dated before. I just never really cared to have boyfriends. I don't know. So I've always been really shy with my feelings, I guess. So admitting to someone is like, you know, shy enough, but then like having to admit to a bunch of other people, also shy. So I told Mom and everyone that he was just a friend for so many years. And I'm like, I think someone, like, did you suspect it in like Farron or?
Yeah, probably.
I feel like people did, except for Mom, of course, suspected. Because, I mean, it was like almost twice a year, I feel like. Either I visited him during the summer or he visited during the summer. And then we also sometimes visited during Christmas. So once or twice you're like flying across the continent to go visit somebody. We're just friends.
Mm-hmm.
So,
bullshit.
It took me a few years to admit that. But in the meantime, when Dave visited, I had like one of those beds that's like under a bed. So you like pull it out and like push it upwards to like make a second
bed. The trundle bed?
Yeah, the trundle bed. So Dave would sleep on that bed. But we would set an alarm after, like, Mom went to bed. Dave would get into my bed, and then he'd set an alarm for before she goes to work, and we would go into our own separate beds. Oh, man. So we would go to those lengths. And then if we traveled somewhere, like, with the hotel, I remember, like, Mom would be like, "Are you sharing a bed?" And we'd be like, "No." Yes. So that was a thing. We also had another internet friend visit at the same time. So, like, one of us slept on the floor, but really he had the bed and, like, Dave slept with me. And then Dave went on the floor between hours. So anyways, I don't know. That's it. In 2014, I finally moved to Canada, closing the gap of our long days.
2014?
Yeah.
No. 14?
I'm sorry. 2016, I moved to Canada.
Okay.
2014 is when I got hit by a car. That's another episode. 2016, we got married, and then 2017, I moved to Canada. Wow. Okay. I'm an idiot. Yeah, so we were in a long-distance relationship for, oh my God, 10 years? And we have known each other for 17? God. That's a long time. That's over half my life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, like, between the age of 13 and 17, like, we didn't talk that much, honestly. It was probably, like, once a week or something. Like, it wasn't like we were talking every day. Especially, like, starting off, we talked a lot, and then, like, kind of petered off. But, yeah, I guess we started dating officially in 2019. Oh my God, 2009. I'm an idiot. We started officially dating in 2009. And yeah, that was 11 years ago. And yeah, long distance relationship. I don't know. What's there to say about it? It sucks. Wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah,
but as someone who doesn't have any experience with like an actual relationship where you can just call up your boyfriend and like hop into the car and like hang out every other day. Oh my God, Dave's messaging me. What is he saying? He said, oh, don't forget to mention you had a twin bed, he says. So when we were sharing a bed, it was a twin bed. It was a very small bed.
Very small.
And honestly, we didn't even upgrade for like many years. It sucked. It was rough. What was I saying? Yeah. Dave interrupted me. How dare he?
Long relationships. Don't recommend.
Yeah. I don't have any experience with a normal relationship, which I find kind of weird. I don't regret. I mean, it seems like relationships are messy if they don't work out. Never went through a breakup, so I guess I can say that. Dave, don't divorce me.
Wow. I've been through enough breakups for the both of us, I think.
Yeah, that's something that I hope I don't have to experience ever in my life. But cross your fingers. Hopefully. Yeah, I don't know. What's there to say? Don't recommend long distance relationships, but Dave was worth the wait. Oh my God.
Oh, gross. Yuck.
I know. Yeah. Packages. I'll tell you one thing. Long distance relationships are expensive with all those plane tickets and mailing packages to another country. And I remember there was a couple of times when Dave sent me like a huge package and it was wrapped up in like brown like package paper, but the package was just overweight to where he had to like unwrap it, and that was it. Like that was good enough. So he had to like send this box that had like a packaging all over it. Or just like taking out some, like unwrapping presents inside the package just so you can send it like $5 cheaper, stuff like that.
That's wild.
Oh, that can be a hassle, but getting mail is really fun, and that's something that you don't get to experience much outside of a long distance relationship. So I guess there's that. I don't know, what's there to say. Dave visited me when I was in Japan, so that was cool.
Yeah, I remember Skyping with y'all while you were
That's not much of a long distance relationship thing, but yeah, we had Christmas in Japan. That was funny.
The only thing that's kind of funny I think about y'all's relationship is that I met his parents before you did.
Oh my god, what a story.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to tell that story to break up me talking so much?
Might as well. This was probably in 2010 or maybe 2011. Maybe, I don't remember.
No, it was probably 2010.
Okay. I was in because you know what? I think I quit the band after that tour because that tour, it was very bad. I was in a like indie band when I was younger, and we would go on tour in the summer. And one summer we decided to do a West Coast tour. So we like went up California, and then we decided to go to Vancouver Island. And I was like, oh, Kasey's boyfriend lives there. Like, so we have like a contact, like I bet we could crash with them. And we ended up, like I talked to Dave. Like I'd met Dave before. We'd hung out before. It was cool. And his parents let this touring band stay in their house. And this had been a really rough tour for me. I was not getting along with my bandmates. One of my bandmates was an ex-boyfriend, and just like being on tour with an ex is like a whole nother level of stress. We weren't really making money on this tour, which that's not the goal. You know, the goal is to make enough money to buy gas and groceries and stuff and then move to the next place. So I was under like a lot of stress and like really depressed, and I was over the tour. I wanted to go home, but we were obligated. But when I met Dave's mom, she was like the sweetest, like Canadian mom. Like she was just like a stereotype of a sweet Canadian mom. And I like met her, and she just like said hello, and I immediately burst into tears. I was like, I can sense like the motherly nice vibes just like radiating off of her. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is so weird. But I just like need it. You know, it was just like, you know, to see someone so nice when you've been surrounded by assholes for the, weeks. But I'm sure that was like really weird for them. And then I remember even later, like getting into a fight with the bandmates and then leaving the house crying to go on a walk. And that's when I met Dave's dad, like coming out of his house crying. And then Dave's dad had just got home from work and was walking up the driveway. And I was like, I'm giving the worst first impressions ever. This is a disaster. But they were funny because what?
Which is funny because you met them before they like met his like girlfriend.
Yeah, so it's like, it's her sister.
I have to follow that up.
Yeah, but we're like really, really
is
different.
Kasey? Yeah, we are.
So yeah, I'm just like, it was really funny, but that was fun. We ended up, Dave and I played like Left 4 Dead. Well, I don't know, my bandmates were just watching, I guess. It was really nice. His parents were really sweet. They made us dinner, like prayed for us over dinner, which was sweet and different, but they're coming from a good place. It was really funny. What a fun time.
Since you mentioned that, I mean, it's just like really funny that this like really, like, I don't even know how the words to explain it. Just like a family that's just very, because like we come from the South. We're so loud and crazy, and like we're drinking at every family get together, and like you smoke stuff, and you go to this family that's like, maybe they'll have a beer once in a while, and they're very quiet and just like so different from us. And for like them to like welcome in this like young 20s like indie band traveling the country, it's just like what I guess they just kind of felt obligated because it was like Dave's girlfriend's sister. I don't know, but it's just the whole situation was just like really funny. And like after I met them, because I didn't know much about them, I was like, oh my god, like I can't even imagine this situation that happened, because like you told me about it and I was like, oh, that sounds funny, I guess. But I met them and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, like me and Dave slept in the same room at our place, but when I visited Dave, I slept in his bedroom, but they had him sleep downstairs in like the pull-out bed on a couch. Like we weren't even allowed to sleep in the same bedroom.
Yeah.
Those
Christian values.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Don't know about those. So yeah, that was pretty funny. Where did we leave? Was I talking about anything in particular? I don't even know.
I guess you'd wrapped it up, but like, so how did you guys like decide to get married and stuff when you haven't lived together?
Oh, yeah,
or even like spent like a long time together,
Gosh, yeah, and the thing is like that's like a whole, I don't even know if that really counts as long distance as much as it does like immigration, because that's what really made the whole thing really complicated, because in order to immigrate into Canada, I guess the easiest was to get married, because you can go into Canada legally with like a sponsorship from a company, but that's like you have to be like a doctor, or like finding a graphic design company that like is willing to sponsor an American is not gonna happen, basically. So the easiest way for me to get into Canada for us to live together was to get married. So as unromantic as it was, we were just like, well, we want to live together, and the best way to do that is to get married. So I guess we need to get married. So it was basically just, well, come on over to Canada and we'll get married, and that's that. So that when we both agreed, like, we didn't want a wedding. Like, I'm not a super girly person. Like, I don't have any, I mean, I have some friends, but it's like, I would probably have like 5 friends to invite. Like, our family isn't huge. Like, it would have been a very small wedding if I had one. And just in general, I don't really care about weddings, because everyone says it's like a celebration. You're like celebrating the people that come or whatever. But like, honestly, it's just like a waste of money, and it's just like a big party. So like, because I always said that if we ended up having some sort of wedding after we had this like quick wedding, it would just basically be like a barbecue in the backyard or something. Like, it wouldn't, it wasn't really going to be like an actual reception or something. So basically, Dave went out to look for a place for us to get married, because I didn't want to just walk into like a courtroom or like do it like in a church or something. Like, that just seemed kind of not my vibe.
Yeah.
Though I think I remember saying that I wouldn't have minded just walking and signing papers, but I think there was some confusion there. But anyways, basically Dave found like a little hiking area just off of the path next to like a river, and it was all cute and woodsy. So I flew to Canada. Well, okay, first I wanted to find like a white dress. So I went to a few malls and I found like this prom dress, I guess. It was very plain. It was just like a little white dress, because I just wanted to wear something, because I don't really have a lot of clothes to wear. So I got this white dress, and I flew out to Canada, and I got off the plane in Vancouver, because to get to Vancouver Island, you have to usually land in Seattle or Vancouver, and then you get on this tiny little plane and hop over to the island. So I landed in Vancouver, and I had to pee really bad, so I was like booking it to the bathroom, and I hear someone behind me, Kasey, and I'm like, excuse me? And I turn around, and Dave proposed to me in the airport, which I didn't expect. It was like a surprise proposal, which was like so sweet. So
did you cry?
Even though, no, no. I don't think I did. It takes a lot for me to cry.
Mm-hmm.
But I very specifically remember that spot in the airport, because I go to that airport all the time, because to leave the island you have to go to Vancouver Airport. So I very specifically remember that spot, and it was right in front of like an information desk, and the lady started clapping. Aww. It was funny. He got some like cheap weird ring off of Amazon just to like have a ring to propose with. And I was like, you should have just had like a box of poutine that you got from like a fast food joint. Yeah. And just like open the box of poutine. That would have been great.
Oh, yeah. Because you brought your own wedding band over, right? I remember you buying, your wedding ring.
Yeah, you went with me. Just something simple. Again, I don't want to rock. Like, I never wore jewelry in my life. Like, me wearing bracelets is so rare. So like, it's the only ring I've ever worn is just this plain, very plain ring. So
well, hold on.
Uh-oh.
You have that ring that's like a hand.
Oh yeah. Well, my hand got fat.
You have two rings.
I do have two rings. Well, the reason why I got that was because to support a fellow artist friend, but also I do want to try to wear a little bit more jewelry, but I gained weight and now my fingers got fat, so I can't wear it. But that's fine. We're working on that. Whoops. It seems like I gain weight in my hands very easily. It's annoying. Plus, I already have sausage fingers, so that's like... So, yeah, Dave surprised me at the airport. Very cute. He flew back to Victoria with me, and like the next day we got married. Actually, the next day he showed me the spot, and the next day we got married. So that happened. It was literally us and the guy doing the wedding, and then his mom, dad, and then aunt and uncle-ish, her boyfriend. So it was like us 7 people just standing on the side of a trail, and some people on the trail actually saw us and they were watching, so that's a little embarrassing, but that's fine. So that's cute. And then we just had like a short little honeymoon up the island, because again, we're both kind of like just out of college-ish. You know, we're not going to go fly to another country. We just went up island and just like hung out. And then I went back home, which a lot of people thought was so weird, because like I went to Canada, got married, and then came back to Tennessee, and they were like, didn't you get married? Like, why are you here now? And I'm like, well, I'm waiting to quit my job at a certain time so I can get money from them, because at the time I was working at Amazon. At the Amazon warehouses, you can do this thing called the buyout, where they literally give you a small amount of money to never work for Amazon companies ever again. So like, I can't even work
it's
for
like
Twitch.
5 years.
And if 5 years?
I think so.
Oh. And it was just like so crazy to me, because at the time I like made some like sort of friends at Amazon at the time, and they were like, what if you like want to work at Amazon again? And I was like, why would I want like why would I have hopes and aspirations.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah.
I have hopes and dreams and things I want to accomplish. Like, art is like something that I want to make a career out of. And Amazon at the time for me was just to have insurance for my diabetes, which we talked about in the last episode. Like, literally the only reason why I worked at Amazon, because they had good health insurance. Like, that is so sad. And like, I hated that job. So, I mean, it was fun, but it's just like, people were like, oh, Kasey, don't... You want to have this as a backup. I'm like, no, if this is my backup, this is sad. So goodbye. So I remember I went home because we got married in September, and then I waited until February, I think it was, to quit. And then in March, I moved to Canada and closed the gap on the long distance relationship, except I keep leaving Dave and traveling abroad for a lot. So,
oof.
But I mean, that's what makes being able to travel around the world. Like when we went to Japan for 3 months almost, a lot of people were like, what about Dave? And I was like, well, Dave's used to it. Like, we were in a long distance relationship for a long time. Like, almost 10 years. Like, we're used to being apart, and it's not unfamiliar to us, like, being able to talk in texts and stuff. So we're really good at communication, and, well, I like to think we are, haha. But with long distance, we're really good at, you know, keeping up with stuff and talking every day, because we're so used to just literally talking every day. Like, when we were in a long distance relationship, we would text 24/7, like, just constantly. And that's the key. Is that it? Texting. Is that my long distance relationship story?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
I heard you have a long distance relationship.
Yeah, I did. Oh. I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. I guess in 2015, when I decided to go back to school and get my degree, I was single at the time, and I was like, you know what? Let's see what Tinder's all about.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So I was on Tinder, and I went on a date with this guy, and it went really well. And he was actually going to MTSU to get his master's in molecular biology, microbiology. I don't remember. I don't know anything about science. It's a little too intense for me. So we dated while he was there, but he was like on his last year in that program, and he was going to graduate, and he had applied to several schools for his PhD program. And one of the schools he had applied to was at Vanderbilt, which was in Nashville, which was like, you know, still local. But he'd also applied to a couple of schools in North Carolina, and he ended up getting into the program at UNC Chapel Hill, which is in North Carolina, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And we were like, cool, well, we'll just break up when you have to leave. And I ended up going.
Cool.
Yeah. I was like, cool, we'll just date for a while and it'll be fun. But I ended up driving with him to Chapel Hill to kind of go house shopping before he like moved. And while we were there, we were like, oh my God, like, I don't want to break up with you when you move. Like, we can make this work. Yeah. We had a night after we had like looked at houses and apartments for him. We were like crying and like eating pizza, and we were like, I don't want to make up. So we decided to do long distance. And I remember like the day he like packed up the townhouse he was living in and like left, being like really sad or whatever. Funny story though, after he moved, me and a couple of other people decided to move into the complex that he had just moved out of, and we were looking at there were like a couple of different townhouses available, and one of the townhouses was his old townhouse, and I was like, I am not moving in. Yeah, I was like, no, thank you. Yeah. But I did get his washer and dryer when he left, so that was cool.
Oh, wow, congratulations.
Yeah. So we did long distance for, I want to say about a year, just like a few months over a year. We would take turns flying to visit the other person like every 2 months or so. And that worked out fine. It was like really expensive, like you said, but we didn't have to do international flights like y'all did. So we just always flew Southwest, which was usually under $300 for a round trip ticket, which is still a lot when you're both in school and, you know, trying to do all that. But that worked out fine. We obviously are not together anymore. And we since we were both in school, we spent a lot of time. I don't know if you and Dave did this, but we did a lot of like study dates where we would just have a webcam on while we were doing homework. And like we wouldn't really talk to each other, but you could like look up and be like, oh, you know, my partner's over there like doing their work. This is kind of cute.
Yeah. The thing about me and cameras is I'm very camera shy and I hate being on camera. This right here, for you video users, hate it. I hate being on camera. So sadly, and I feel really bad looking back on it, Dave and I did like close to no video chatting, and honestly, even like video, even voice chat wasn't that super, super common. I just didn't like to be on camera and like talk and stuff. I guess I was just like, I don't have the confidence. I don't know. I don't know. So no, we so rarely were on camera. There were a few times when we would go on camera. I remember us, for some reason, playing some like camera games with our friend Jesse, where we would like go fetch an item in our house. I don't know. It was like a scavenger hunt. I remember doing that once, but we didn't do a lot of camera stuff. So, but that sounds cute. Like, since your relationship did start off like in person, I think that makes your long distance relationship experience a lot different.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we were based on text for 5 years before we even started liking each other. So it's like text was our thing, I guess.
Yeah, and we went from hanging out whenever we wanted to hanging out once every 2 months. I mean, it was fine. I mean, it sucked not being able to like be near that person, but we were both really busy with school, so it's not like we could have spent a whole lot of time together anyway. We were both like really distracted. One thing that was kind of interesting, I feel like, was that I probably would have broken up with him a lot sooner if we were not long distance, because not being around that person, I didn't have to experience our incompatibility as intensely, if that makes sense, as if we had been around each other a lot. And I remember going to visit him once, and like we had like a dumb argument, but it was like that one dumb argument that was like the straw on the camel's back. And I remember like leaving a bar crying and like walking back to his house and being like, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, we need to break up. But then like I still had a day or two left in my visit. So like, where was I gonna go?
No.
Yeah, and then him obviously like freaking out and like crying and being like, no, like we can't break up. And I was like, so you ended up not breaking up with him. But then a few months after that,
I'm starting to see a pattern with your relationships when guys beg you to stay and then you stay and then it
yeah, and then out. So like lo and behold, it got to the point where like even on our like video chats, I was like not having video chats. So at one point I was just probably looking really pissed off, and he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, it's like, we have to break up. So I broke up with him over Skype video chat.
Well, I mean, what can you do? You're not going to fly out to break up with someone.
Yeah, and if I had flown out there, I probably would have let him convince me to not break up with him again, which, whatever. But yeah, I think it was like difficult, but whatever.
Would you do it again? You're really thinking about it.
I mean, I guess it depends on I guess if I really thought that I was like going to spend the rest of my life with a person, I would do it again. But I feel like we would need to date for longer than a year before, like, to make it worth doing a long distance relationship. Because I think by the time we had broken up, it was almost like we had dated for a year in person and then dated for a year long distance. And it was like, I don't know. I think I would need more time with that person before I could make it work. I mean, I guess I was like kind of in a long distance relationship for 2 months when we were in Japan, and like when I was in the band before, and if I was dating someone while I was on tour, that was like having a long distance relationship. And it is what it is. No.
You reminded me, because you had asked how we went from not living with each other to being married and living with each other. Mm-hmm. I completely forgot to mention that after Dave graduated college, he had time to just take like months off to live with me at a time. So we had a few times where he was actually in America for a few months at a time, like living with me. So I guess we did have experience living with each other. And then also there was the time when I broke my leg and he, like, within a few days drove down from Canada and, like, he was basically my caretaker when I broke my leg, which was like, oh my God, if he didn't do that, I would have died.
I don't
would have
really
been on my death
remember
knell
him
too.
being there.
Wow! I do, because he literally drove me everywhere and took out my wheelchair and stuff and got me food and stuff.
Right. No, I do. Yeah, because he helped with your senior project. I guess was it maybe like a week or so before he got there? I guess I just remember like the really intense couple of weeks, like right after you had broken your leg.
Yeah, because I mean, he drove literally across the continent, so it takes several days to get there, and he couldn't just like, you know, leave the next day. So he like he thankfully had like a job that he could easily like come and go as he needed. So he just like left. I think like a couple of days after I broke my leg and just like drove down and then was my caretaker basically, because like I was living with my mom at the time and she had a job and I couldn't drive. I couldn't walk anywhere. Like I was in a wheelchair. And Dave took care of me. It was great.
No.
We've been through so much.
Wow.
So I guess that's one thing that we had trial runs living with each other, I guess. So there's that.
Cool.
Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend a long distance relationship, but I think if you find the right person and you feel like they're worth fighting for, then I think it could work. I guess. Yeah. That's our conclusion to long distance relationships, but we do have questions from Instagram we will answer.
We do have questions from Instagram that we will answer. We also have a special guest to bring on, right?
Oh, yeah, Dave.
All right. So now we have special guest Dave. Dave's torso.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
And we're gonna answer some Instagram questions. But before we do that, Dave, do you have anything you want to say about long-distance relationships off the cuff? Do you have any, fave memories, worst memories?
Yeah, Dave, let's hear it.
God, in particular, I don't know, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, that's what I said.
All right. Think before you commit. It's a consensus. All right. Well, shall we just jump right into the question hour?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. So we've got from Instagram, our old friend
Dave looks like my bodyguard. Standing next to me.
So from Instagram, we have R12, no other name works here. How often did you meet? Did you meet at one person's house or one person's place or halfway? And
ooh, halfway. No.
Yeah.
Halfway would.
That would be strange.
Halfway sounds
be in like
more
Colorado
like if you
or
live
something.
Closer to each other.
If it's more of
drive an hour to each other or something.
I think so we definitely took turns, but I think the only halfway we could really say is like when I was studying abroad in Japan and you went
halfway around the world,
which honestly is still 100% to me, but yeah, for us it was definitely no halfway. But did you and
that's fine. I don't care.
Sorry.
We didn't do any halfway stuff. We alternated.
I killed myself with that one. Wow, that's not funny.
That's rough stuff.
No, it was not funny, but it was.
But yeah, we would do like every 2 months. But y'all didn't hang out that often.
But did you ever meet halfway?
No. I mean, he was in North Carolina and I was in Tennessee, so it was just like an 8-hour drive or like a 45-minute flight. So.
Whoa, that's a short.
If you're gonna fly, that's a commitment. You need to have a place to actually stay.
You can't just fly halfway somewhere.
Yeah. So I guess really it's like, I feel like a halfway point would only work if it was like a a few hour drive maybe or something.
Or if you're doing like a vacation.
Yeah, and even so, I feel like there's got to be like a destination or something. So. Yeah. Next question.
All right, we've got actually 3 different questions from Megalodon667. And the first one is, does a long-distance relationship help show whether y'all are actually compatible or break up things faster?
Hard for us to say whether it breaks up things faster.
Yeah, because y'all got married. You made it. You did it.
That's a good question, because I feel like it helps show things that maybe you need to work on in a relationship, or it like helps highlight things that are important to you in a relationship, because those are the things that are gonna really show through that aren't being attended to in your relationship.
Sure,
I don't even know how to word it, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it just showed that me and Dave are low maintenance, I guess.
I think you also need like some amount of being able to be around each other for a long time to know that you could live together.
Yeah.
Without wanting to kill each other.
Oh, which I almost forgot to mention, which we did talk about, was that you were able to visit in Tennessee for like months at a time a few times. Yeah. So that probably
that's
helped.
super. That's helpful.
So like you coming to live with me, I knew what I was just going to be normal.
I knew what I was getting myself into. Yeah, I heard you.
Women!
Oh, God.
For me personally, I feel like it just postponed my breakup a little bit because I didn't have to see them as often, which was, Their next question was trust during a long distance relationship and how to handle being apart during difficult times. I
forgot to mention that a lot of people would tell me that long distance relationships don't count, and that either that or they thought like I was making Dave up or something. So like there's like some sort of phrase or something where like out of state doesn't count for like a relationship. Like if you cheat on them while they're out of state doesn't count.
Oh right.
So I don't know what that's about. But yeah,
that's gross.
Those people clearly don't have a lot of trust in their relationship.
Yeah, it's like, I definitely want to hook up with you. Someone that clearly is pushing me to cheat on my current boyfriend. No, thank you. But no, I mean, trust issues, not really. Because, like, I mentioned that Dave was my first boyfriend. I'm also Dave's first and only girlfriend, like, for both of us. So we don't really have, I don't think we have that, like, cheating PTSD, basically. Like, we don't have that, like, fear of being cheated on to begin with. So I think that's probably helpful for us. Dave? Any?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like a long distance relationship would make trust issues really, really apparent or, like, exasperate them also. So, like, if you had any of those issues, it would just it would amplify them. The distance would amplify any problems that y'all had. And if you weren't able to, like, communicate and work through them, that's that, I guess.
That's that.
And how did y'all handle being apart during difficult times?
Oh yeah. I don't know, Dave, you got an answer for that one? Like if you had like a really bad day, was there anything that...
I guess since we like started off and maintained long distance for like from the beginning, coming to talk to you long distance was just normal, so it didn't seem like, oh damn, I can't be with her, because that's what it always was.
Oof. I wish Kasey was here to cuddle, make me feel better, give me kisses. I don't know, I guess. I mean, obviously, like, during hard times you want to be with someone, but we're so used to it, I think that, that was it. That was it.
Like y'all were still able to communicate and text and talk, so it was probably...
Yeah. Plus,
Cool.
my life didn't have like a lot of hard times anyway, so got that easy life, I guess. I mean, just normal like stress with school,
totally,
or family. We all laugh.
Nervous laughter intensifies. And then the last question from Megalodon 667 was general advice. I'm about to embark on a long distance relationship as I go into grad school. So
well, I think all of our first advice is don't. But if you have to, I guess communication's a good one.
I feel like you can never communicate too much. Unless
it's just
No, I said that and then I was like, but
find activities that you can enjoy long distance, like we mentioned, like playing movies at the same time or video games or something. Like technology these days makes it so easy to play games or like apps or something like constantly. And even video chatting, like FaceTime is a thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that it?
I don't really have
Dave,
any
you got
advice.
any advice?
Yeah, besides just like
surprise mail's always fun too.
Oh yeah.
The packages.
Yeah, try to use every avenue that you have to communicate and show that person that you care about them, I guess. Cool. Well, good luck at grad school. Go get that that higher degree.
Good luck with your long distance relationship.
Yeah. The last question is from Vibrabones. What are some fun long-distance relationship activities that my significant other and I can do together aside from playing video games? And
that's like half of it.
Yeah, what else is there to do?
Well, actually, so there's one thing that my ex and I did that was like pretty fun and like really dumb but simple. We used to do Mad Libs with each other, which we would just like found like Mad Libs online and then we would just have each other fill them out and then we'd read them out loud and they would usually be pretty funny. But
isn't that a game technically?
It's not a video game.
It's not a video game.
Oh wow! I mean, okay, you don't have to gang up on me. Yeah, that's a good one.
Just kind of like having the camera on while you're doing day-to-day stuff. If you really like miss that person, sometimes it's just nice to look up and see them there. But that's not really an activity, is it?
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot you can do. I'm sure Google would probably be a better answer than us. I'm sure there's like lists out there. Probably should have prepared for this. But yeah,
Also just like depends on what you're into and try to find ways you can make that long distanceable. There's probably some way you can adapt it.
You know what, Dave and I forgot. Dave and I did this thing where we started writing, we wrote letters to each other and sent packages. We would write in the same book and we would continue the book.
Oh my God.
And forget about the book.
And then forget about the book. That was kind of cute. A little collection of letters.
That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute.
And I think we even started like tic-tac-toe in it too, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a few.
Wow.
That's a pretty good idea. And then when you finally close the gap, you have this cute little memento that you guys can look back on and be like,
I don't even know where it is.
I know where it is.
Oh, Dave knows where it is.
It's in my box of letters.
There you go.
I got it last, I guess.
Yeah.
It's got a nice tic-tac-toe where Kasey marked X's through all my O's and said she won.
What was...
Wow. That's messed up.
That's how it be sometimes.
Yeah,
you gotta do what you gotta do to win, Dave. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's not much to do, but good luck.
Yeah. Good luck. I guess you could always like read books together, but just like be able to talk about them. You know, like read a chapter and then talk
like
about
a book
the chapter.
club.
Yeah, like a little.
That's cute.
LDR book club. But yeah. Cool. So the verdict is, don't do a long distance relationship.
Get out.
Oh, okay. Dave thinks he's hilarious.
No.
Yeah, my verdict is that it sucks, but it can work.
You gotta
put in the work.
Yeah.
Make it work. Well, thanks for coming on, Dave, our first guest.
Wow,
Wow.
I bet I was so much use.
Well, you know, it's fun to have the other opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That it sucks.
I loved it. Every minute of it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Hey, Dave, you got an opinion about when Allyson came and visited your parents? Or visited you? Or stayed
The
at your
band, when
house?
my band came.
Not particularly. What kind of opinion am I supposed to be having an opinion on about?
Do you remember that happening? Wasn't that wild?
Yeah. I remember getting to the place they were going to play and the people didn't know about it.
Oh, yeah. That part of the tour was just an absolute fucking disaster, honestly. The
Did
Spiral
your parents
Cafe.
have anything to say? Like, once they left? Were they like, oh, that was weird?
No.
Oh.
Plus, I don't think they would. But also, I didn't even know about the car situation until I heard about it from Allyson.
The car?
Like when my dad came and talked to Allyson.
Oh, and...
I don't know what you guys have talked about.
Wait.
Well,
I talked to your dad?
Didn't you say like he approached you and you were like crying in the car? 'Cause he was coming
Oh,
home
okay,
from
maybe
work
that's
or
what it was.
something.
So I was crying. Maybe he had just like gotten back from work. I was crying in the car and he like pulled up next to the car or something. But it was just really awkward. Or maybe he was the one that told me to take a walk. He was like, told me I should get some fresh air.
I'm
and take
sure
a
that
walk
he
or something.
recommended that you should go down to the water because he loves the water.
oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. That's funny.
Like, get your crying ass out of here.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
He was recommending to you the sights of Brentwood Bay.
Yeah.
The best we had to offer.
The
Yeah.
water.
Got some water over there. Get you a walk.
Sounds
Hey,
fun,
I've been on a walk with your dad around the water. I think it was like a few days after I got married. After we got married, I like went on a walk. Like both of your parents wanted like one-on-one time with me, and I was like, this is so uncomfortable. So I don't remember what I did with your mom, but with your dad, we like went for a walk around the beach. So yeah.
Cool.
Oh, your mom, we went and got coffee down the street. We walked to a coffee shop.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. It was cute, but yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, Dave. It was good to have you. Thanks. Oh god. Ow! All right. Well, long distance relationships. Can't live with them.
I could do without him.
Yeah, I can do without them too.
Just like diabetes.
Oof. Well, that was a fun little tidbit. Thanks again to Dave for being a guest.
Mm-hmm.
One day we'll have a whole episode with the boys. That day is not today.
Mm-mm.
Unfortunately.
Nope.
Well, I hope you guys learned a thing or two about long distance relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I sure have these past 10, 17 years. They suck.
Yeah, they're not fun.
All right. Well,
Well,
just like a long distance relationship, we can't stay.
We can't stay. But we'll see you in 6 to
see you
8
next
weeks.
Oof.
Okay,
For me and
bye.
David, it was 6 to 8 months.
Ooh,
Rough. Rough.
that's rough.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, bye.
You're rough.
Ugh.